everybody. I hope you're doing well. My name is Jeanette. Welcome back to the Brand Talk. Today we have Erica Martinez from the Empress LA, and we are going to talk about all things med spa. Erica, it's my pleasure to have you here and to be having this conversation. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about first what makes you credible to be having this conversation.
So I'm Erica. I'm a board certified nurse practitioner. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I've been in healthcare for going on like 12 years now. I have a doctorate degree. My background, I started off as an RN back when was 21. I'm going to age myself a little bit. I started off at Cedars. I went back, got my master's in nursing, started teaching. I worked in medical devices. And then after that, I went back and got my postmaster's FNP. I helped to build a outpatient palliative program, did some telehealth model work during COVID, then went back, started working on my doctorate, got into UCLA, built a sickle cell program, was on a few research clinical trials, and then ultimately ended up transitioning into aesthetics. I always knew that was the route that I wanted to go, and 2025 became that year.
Aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge umbrella term. What is aesthetics?
So aesthetics is it's basically like in our world it is everything that has to do with beauty, anti-aging, regenerative therapies, and like growth in derm, facial anatomy, and essentially enhancing what people look like, and beauty, really.
When I think med spa, I have limited knowledge as to what that means. For me, beauty extends to doing facials,
Mm-hmm.
which is what an esthetician would do.
Mm-hmm.
It extends to maybe laser. I have lasered my face
Mm-hmm.
with the pursuit of having clearer skin,
Mm-hmm.
for the pursuit of my makeup going on smoother and
Mm-hmm.
looking a lot more natural.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to us about there's way more than that in a med spa?
Yes.
What's the difference between what regular folk would already know and the world of aesthetics and med spa?
So in med spa, it's a full umbrella term. So this is med spa and wellness. So it's yes, it's your injectables. So your Botox, your dermal fillers, and then you go into your skincare, which would be like your enhancing your skin. So like your skin rejuvenation with microneedling. We have regenerative therapies, which would be exosomes, salmon DNA, which is
Salmon, like fish?
yes, salmon DNA.
Salmon DNA.
Polyarribonucleotides. It's a polyarribonucleotides. Say that 5 times. It's a very, very long word, but essentially what it helps with, it's anti-inflammatory properties, helps with anti-aging. When we microneedle that into the skin, you're basically creating little microchannels, which are little wounds, and when you do that, any type of serum or anything is rapidly being pushed into the skin to help boost new collagen.
Okay.
That would be considered a form of skin rejuvenation. Another thing for regenerative therapies would be like your exosomes, which are your growth factors. Another regenerative therapy is platelet-rich plasma, PRP. A lot of people know about microneedling with PRP.
PRP.
Yes, that's platelet-rich plasma. So essentially what that is we draw your blood, we spin it. When we spin it once, that's PRP. When we spin it twice, that's PRF. That's platelet-rich fibrin. The fibrin matrix is what is going to it's basically going to give you better results for where if you're injecting it. So there's something called Easy Gel, for example. That's a regenerative therapy. So there's fillers, which use hyaluronic acid, and then there is Easy Gel, which uses your own cells to help. I can inject that anywhere in your face. So basically, I spin it once, it's PRP, spin it twice, it's PRF. I run it through this machine that heats it, and it turns it into a gel. And then I can go ahead and...
Your own blood.
Your own blood.
That you're drawing
from
the micro needling.
No, you're drawing it. I'm drawing it from here.
Okay.
I can then use it for microneedling with PRP.
By spinning it.
Getting out the yellow portion, which we consider liquid gold. and then you're able to microneedle that into the face, or I can spin it again, turn it into PRF, and then once I turn it into PRF, I then mix the albumin and the platelets together, and it turns it into like this gel-like consistency once heated, and then I'm able to inject it into your face. It turns it into a gel. Has a similar gel-like consistency, similar to hyaluronic acid. However, being that it is your own cells, it does require a few sessions to do on average. Easy Gel requires 3 sessions. Time and longevity, you're not going to get as long of a time frame as you would with hyaluronic acid because naturally that's an additive. But for people who do not want fillers, that want like an overall increase in collagen production on their face, you can do it for tear troughs. And people, less than 4% of the patient population are candidates for tear trough filler, but they want their bags gone and their dark circles removed. Easy Gel is a great option for that. You can put Easy Gel in the marionettes. You can help build a little bit of cheek structure here. You can also put it in the lips. Not going to get the same plump that you would with hyaluronic acid, but it's using your own cells. So like the risk for vascular occlusion that does occur with filler, you would not have with Easy Gel. So that's another option for regenerative therapy. We also have, there's peptides. So peptides is a huge craze right now with NAD, which helps with cellular regeneration, anti-aging, brain fog, muscle recovery. Those can be injected or they can be given via IV bags. That's an option. On IV therapy, we have full B complexes. So multivitamins there. It's also a full, when I say med spa is a full overall umbrella, there's also weight loss too. So
Weight loss.
yes. So GLPs, so semaglutide is an option in my med spa.
That is a term I've been hearing around for the past 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's been out for a much longer time. It's arrived on my ears and to my attention a couple of months ago.
Uh-huh.
What is that exactly? And that is something you can do at your med spa?
Correct. So GLPs, they basically, semaglutide was initially, Ozempic was designed for diabetes. We found that with time it helped with weight loss. That being said, what I let everyone know, so me personally, back in, you wouldn't know this by looking at me, but in 2023, after I gave birth to my daughter, I was 240 pounds.
240 pounds. And
200
for reference, you're about
I'm 4'9", 4'9" and a half.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much of a weight loss did you undertake?
Over 87 pounds.
87 pounds. And that was strictly using GLP.
Diet and exercise.
Diet and exercise.
Diet and exercise with GLPs.
With GLP.
You cannot, I stress this to everyone, GLP is not a magical fix. There are risks and benefits and side effects. That's why I always say, you'll see them pop up online. There's different areas where you can buy a GLP, meet with a telehealth provider, and have it sent to your house, and have mediocre follow-up is the best way I could describe it. In my med spa, when I have somebody on a GLP, I'm very transparent. This is not a magical fix. You need to put in the work. You need to change your eating habits if you want long-term results. So I have clients who I've gotten them down to their goal weight, and we're titrating them off their meds, which has been fantastic to see.
Yes.
But GLPs work beautifully in the aspect that they control food noise. So it doesn't just work on the pancreas by controlling your blood sugar and reducing cravings. It reduces the food noise in the brain, and they're doing so much research right now that shows they're extending the usage of GLPs, and show currently there's active research being done on how GLPs target the same neurons in the brain and receptors in the brain that are responsible for addiction, and they're actually currently doing research right now on GLPs and their reduction of people who have addictive tendencies, along with different mental health components, because of how it works on different aspects of the brain.
The biggest impression that I feel at this time speaking with you, first you have to be very knowledgeable to be able to undertake, and not just that, but be successful in a med spa.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very smart, very knowledgeable, very passionate.
Yes.
But you also need to be, how can I describe it? You also need to have the ability to say no.
Yes.
Because people will people will come to your establishment and say, "Can you do this cheaper?"
Yes.
Or I have this idea in my mind. I want to look like this when I leave today.
Mhm.
It doesn't sound like what you do is you come in and you leave with those results. It sounds like it's something a lot more elaborate because you're putting foreign things into your bloodstreams, into your skin, which can be very easy for somebody who doesn't have that hands-on or just that background knowledge to be able to do a very good job. And if my purpose of going to a med spa is to look a little different, to do things to enhance what I already have, I want somebody who will be able to say, similar to when you want to try a different hairstyle and the hairstylist doesn't tell you that, honey, I can't do that for you, but they do it anyway, and you walk out with a different expectation and probably not happy. That cannot be the case in a med spa. It's very important stuff. The words sound important, they're very long. Um, and that in turn tells me that you need to be very knowledgeable to not only understand what those words mean, but what they truly do physically to a human being.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So I feel like that's not talked about enough in aesthetics, but body dysmorphia right now is at an all-time high.
Ooh, body dysmorphia, which means
People have what they see themselves as and what they're trying to achieve. Like some people have unrealistic goals. There's a lot of people that come into aesthetics with unrealistic goals and expectations. It is the job of the injector and the med spa to say no. That's what separates a good injector from somebody who is just trying to solely take your money. You need to be able to say no, that this is not an appropriate treatment plan for you, that you do not need more filler in your lips or cheeks. You need to be comfortable telling people also where that your results could be enhanced if you dissolve it and we start fresh off a fresh canvas. And also need to let people know that process of dissolving, once dissolved, you got to come back in 2 weeks because you got to give the area time to heal once you've dissolved it too. I am very transparent with all of my patients. I pride myself on my integrity as a provider to sit back and do a great facial consult of what can be beneficial for them, what treatment plans, what options they have. And there's a lot of factors that go into play with that. It's because like you said, it's not a one and done. It is an ongoing thing, especially as we age. Every year you're losing collagen after the age of 30. Collagen starts to go down. So
what is collagen?
So that's what keeps you nice and plump, minimal fine lines, keeps you looking youthful.
Got it.
Is your collagen. As we age, our skin naturally develops more skin laxity. Everything with gravity starts to go like this. And what we're trying to do in aesthetics is reverse that process.
Got it.
Slow it down, at least, at the bare minimum.
Which is the purpose of why people do serums and skincare and the washa to kind of fix their face structure a little bit.
Correct.
Med spa builds upon those basic habits that we're perhaps already doing every day.
Correct. So what you're going to get with injectable treatments, you'll never be able to achieve with your skincare. But like I always explain to everyone, when you come into a med spa, it's like buying a nice car, but if you're not doing the follow-up work at home, which would be putting the premium gas in the fancy car that you bought, your car is not going to perform to the extent in which it should. So always, anybody who comes into a med spa, you need to have a great skincare regimen, a moisturizer, a serum, a night cream. You need to make sure you're doing facials, and you're not only that too, it's a whole health and wellness. So skin is not just what you put on it, it's what you put in your body too.
Yes.
So that is adequate water intake, that is healthy foods, that it's a whole circle. It's not just I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna get my aesthetic treatment, I'm gonna go away and not do anything after that. You gotta upkeep it. That's why anybody who comes in for Botox, for example, make sure you're using a peptide serum so your results last longer. Anybody who's doing laser treatments for spots, make sure you're going home and you're using your vitamin C. Make sure if you want increased collagen, you're using your hyaluronic acid serum at home and your niacinamide and all the good things that you can put on your skin. That being said, sunscreen and laser, this is a huge component that is not talked about enough. When you are getting laser treatments, you need to make sure you are out of the sun. This is exactly why during summer months, med spas, lasering, we are very selective on what we laser, who we laser, because I cannot control what you do when you leave my space. And for your safety, I want to make sure you don't burn. So you need to have adequate sunscreen. We do live in California. There is sun every day, everywhere. You should be using, if I say anything today, everyone should be using sunscreen daily, UAA, UABB ray protection, because you are getting sun exposure from fluorescent lights wherever you go. So make sure you are using your sunscreen daily. That being said, your sunscreen only lasts a certain amount of hours, so make sure you are touching up during the day.
So if there's one lesson you would like for everybody to take today, which it doesn't sound difficult at all, it's probably something we're already doing, use your sunscreen, but not just once. You need to reapply.
Correct.
Because we don't get rays just from the sun. The lighting in our home, the computers that we used to work with most of the time, 9-10 hours a day, those are all lights that our skin intakes.
Correct.
And utilizing sunscreen, changing it out once, twice, will help us achieve the results that we would like.
Correct. It keeps your sunscreen only lasts for a certain amount of hours, so it'll keep making sure your skin is protected. People should be moisturizing their face on a regular basis. Adequate hydration is essential in reduction of aging on the face, because the more dry your skin is, the faster you're gonna age.
Since we're talking all about brands,
Yes.
your brand, Empress LA, having a med spa, doing aesthetics, that is very popular, more so now than I've ever seen in the past years.
Yes.
What are you doing to stand out, aside from building rapport, being able to say no, just have that confidence, because it's important work that you're doing. It's not just something applying cream, or you're going in the tissues, you're going in the arteries, and it's important that you know anatomy.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like, what are you doing
Well,
to enhance your brand?
I'm avoiding facial arteries, because you never want to. You don't want to hit facial arteries. You want to make sure you're very aware of where your facial planes are. But what I'm doing that I think separates myself from a lot of med spas is I want to enhance what you look like, but make you look like you. So I'm not trying to necessarily change who you are. I just want you to look like a more refreshed version of you. And I want to bring, I fully believe too, and this is something that in aesthetics, where everyone's focused on what you look like. When the world of body dysmorphia, something that I feel is extremely important is it doesn't matter how many aesthetic treatments I do here. If in here is the issue, it doesn't matter what I'm doing here.
Amen to that.
This needs to be fixed. So that's where discernment comes in and saying, no, that's not an appropriate treatment, and being able to identify body dysmorphia. Because some people, it's a internal self-esteem issue that they want to fix this, and there's really nothing wrong. So I am very transparent in that aspect, and I focus on natural results. The whole point of having work done is it shouldn't look like you're having work done. You should just look refreshed, and skin is glowing and happy, and you need to be comfortable in your own skin, and I want to bring that radiance outward, make you feel like a happy, confident you, but it all stems from in here to start with. So I think people need to really keep that in mind too.
I feel the reality is we want that to be what people feel and come to us, but a lot of people just strictly want it for the aesthetic. Will you turn somebody away if their purpose is just to look better without loving themselves? Is that something to prevent perhaps a horror story? Is that something you try to stay away from, or how do you deal with people like that?
When I'm doing a consultation, so I mean, number one, I'm outside of like science and med spa. I'm intuitive. Like I'm very in tune with myself. I'm intuitive. Hence the Empress LA. That didn't originate from nowhere.
Ooh, okay, let's talk about that. Where did the name come from?
So I lost my dad in 2024. My
Condolences.
Thank you. He was he could channel thoughts and like channel people, and was very spiritually like in tune. That being said, after he passed, I got really into tarot. I got really into like trying to open my third eye and going into like meditation and things. And how the Empress LA came about was, like I said, I always knew I wanted to go into aesthetics. I had known that since back when I was working for my RN. I actually worked at Sephora. I was started off as a beauty consultant, and then I would just do appointments at the studio. And I loved that. I loved making people feel beautiful, and I always knew I wanted to find a way to merge my love for science with my love for beauty, and the best of both worlds is aesthetics, and anti-aging. So that's how I knew that this was always the realm I wanted to end up in. But that being said, after he had passed, I got really into tarot, and in 2025, after a rough work day, I just happened to look for places for lease, and I saw that this space that I'm in, there was a girl, we had mutual circles, and when I wanted to open, she had ended up in that space. She shared it with a nail tech, and I was like, wow, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. But at the time I was looking for a location, I was like, damn, that would have been a great spot for a med spa. So when I saw that it was available online, I was like, oh, that's interesting. It had been up for 5 days, and at this point, I had no plan. I just was like, I wonder if I should call. And I literally pulled out my tarot deck, and I was just like, okay, Daddy, let's I just want to go within, and I just want to see what's gonna arrive. So I started pulling. I pulled the Empress. The Empress stands for divine femininity, is the birth of something new. It is the mother card of the tarot deck. I then pulled the Sun. The Sun is one of the, like, it's the kid on the horse. It is the happy card of the deck. It is like positivity and just like good things coming. I then pulled the Chariot. The Chariot is like fast movement. It is moving in a forward direction. I then pulled Ten of Pentacles. That is wealth, sharing your wealth with other people. So I pulled very positive cards.
Seemingly the best cards in the deck.
I pulled very positive cards, and I was like, I have nothing to lose if I call. So I called, and it was this little 85-year-old man who answered the phone. And he was going to rent the space out to 3 MDs who wanted to just solely do GLP-1s. It was their going to be their third location. And he talked to me. He asked me how old I was. I told him. He's like, well, you're not getting any younger. And I was like, thanks,
Rude,
sir.
but thank you.
Yeah. And
it's true, but thank you.
yeah. I was like, he's like, I made my first millions in my 20s. I was like, awesome, sir. And he was just going on and on about his life, and I was listening. And my dad was 91 when he passed. So that being said, his mannerisms, the guy was 85, so a little bit similar in a sense. No filter, but funny and witty, and it was a good conversation. I was on the phone with him for like 45 minutes. And at the end of that call, I was like, you know what? I just want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I lost my dad in 2024, and your mannerisms are similar, so just thank you for today. And he paused, and there I was like, okay, here I go, oversharing again a little bit, giving people too much information than what they wanted to know. And
I resonate with that.
and he goes, do you want to see the space? And I was like, I'd love to see the space. And he was like, okay, meet me at 6. So I met him that evening, and he was just staring at me. It was me, my mom, and my daughter. We went together, and he was just staring, and I was like, is he okay? Like right away, the like NP in me kicked in. I was like, he was standing there staring. I was like, is he like okay? Or we had seeing like I was like really wondering if he was okay, if there was anything I should be concerned of. And he goes, I'm fine, but I just feel like I have to help you. I can't explain why. I just feel like I have to help you. And I was like, okay, what does that look like? And he goes, well, just leave me a small deposit and we can talk about the details later. I was going through, I'm still wrapping up some loose ends, but at the time I had filed for divorce. My mom had sold her house, moved in with me, and when all this was happening, we were like, the only option if we were going to open a med spa is to take a chunk of the house that we sold and invest it into the med spa. So that's what we ended up doing. I secured the lease before I had, this is not how you do business, by the way. So anybody who's trying to open a med spa, cross your T's, dot your I's, and really, really have a strong plan before you're like, let's do this. I mean, let's do this, you'll get there. But it's like, how do I nicely say this? It would be like lighting a fire on your ass and then deciding you're going to have to run or else you're going to get burned.
You don't have another option. It has to succeed.
It has to succeed. Failure is not an option, and it should not be in your vocabulary because, I mean, we put everything we had into the med spa. So climbing up the hill is the only way in reality. So that being said, I secured the lease, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to redo all of my aesthetic training that I had started back in like 2021 and continued through 2022. I then went to different classes, trained with different injectors, went all over the country. This was from February all the way through June. Every weekend I was in a different part of the US. I worked Monday through Thursday. I would leave Thursday night in a red eye, and I would go wherever I needed to go that weekend. And then I made friends in the aesthetic community so that if I ever have questions or concerns, I have a network of people and support that I can offset ideas with, and built strong connections to ensure that when I was going to open, that I knew any tip, trick, clinical pearl I could get my hands on, that I absorbed all the information so that I could provide great results, I could make my clients happy, I could have returning clients, and I could genuinely build something sustainable, long-term, that could grow, that would continue to bring me joy, but bring other people joy by enhancing their confidence and making them look radiant and beautiful and feel that way too. And that's what I've been striving to do as I grow over the last 7 months now.
Well, first, thank you for sharing, because I personally already feel that I can trust going to your med spa as opposed to any other med spa, because one, it's a lot of money to invest. Two, you're not just applying skincare stuff, you're going in my skin, and you sound clearly very knowledgeable. And I do like the fact that you're very honest and transparent about, you know what, hey, this is a goal that maybe we can build up to, but please don't expect this result the first time around.
Correct.
I think that's huge. I think that's important, and it lets me know that you value my health and wellness on top of your money. But on the other side, we need to make money. You have to make money. Like you said, there's a fire in your butt, and it's only getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So which marketing strategies have you felt have helped you best get to the point of reaching those clients so they can become returning clients?
So like I said, I didn't come in with a client base. I started building when I opened. Initially, I had friends and family, and then I started meeting people. And it became word of mouth. I have a lot of my clients have come in that somebody else has recommended them from somebody else, that they were happy with the services that they received, that they felt that I was honest and transparent, and they were like, this is somebody you can trust. And when it's your face, you need to be able to trust where you go. That has not been an easy process. The marketing component has not been an easy process. I am finally doing ads. I should have done them from the beginning. I made a lot of mistakes in how to, I have the healthcare component, the education component, the training, and the willingness to do this. Did I have the business mindset? That's been a very humbling experience. Humbling experience. I went and I financed a very expensive laser platform with no clientele. Would not recommend that for somebody who's starting off. I secured a lease on a building with no people. Um, so I did a lot of things backwards, but if I could go back and do it all again, I look back and I even to this day I smile to myself and I'm like, I don't know what I would have done differently because I feel like the knowledge that I've gained from the mistakes that I've made when it comes, because I don't see this as the end all be all. I see this as my starting point.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually see it, the Empress LA there being an Empress Aura, which is an offset of the Empress LA coming where there's injectors that inject with the same mindset, thought processes that I have, and values that I have. And also, I mean, I don't know where you like the intuitive component, but if there are more intuitive people, I would love those people in my space. But I see it as it growing into like different locations, and I want more education in our aesthetic field, and I want people like med spas to share clinical pearls with other med spas. I feel like for a long time that in aesthetics has been lacking. Like gaining training is a difficult component without a financial backing to be able to obtain it. I feel like making aesthetic training more accessible to people is going to benefit the collective as a whole. Because when everyone works together, you grow together, and then the more knowledge is power. So the more knowledge people have, the better work they're going to do if they want to enter this field. So that's a thing I would like to see continue to grow is education, more research. I'm really big on research. I feel like my background and the work I did at UCLA was gratifying, and I value research on a whole nother level. So products and things that I bring into my space are research backed, and it needs to be. I feel like that's essential for protecting patients and protecting the work that I do. So,
Do you feel, I think what that translates into my brain, and I do watch your Instagram. I actually stalked you before having this conversation interaction, because I myself, like I mentioned in the beginning, I do skincare. So for example, I have a routine that I do every day. Right now I'm actually doing this whole new thing, these 4 products, doing a 7-day like test to see how that will change into my skin.
mm-hmm.
But I only did that because I'm huge, like you said, on information.
Mm-hmm.
So I stalked you to inform myself on your services. And while I was looking at your Instagram, a lot of your content is just that. You're explicating to people and teaching people the behind the scenes of the technicalities and how the things work to achieve those aesthetic results.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's like the best thing you're doing aside from being transparent marketing wise, like just throwing studies, information, the kind of people that these studies have been done on, so that way we know that they reflect, our population and my skin, or women and men. I see you explaining a lot of that and providing a lot of that research, which in turn I feel it makes me feel safer as well, because you're a doctor essentially, and a nurse practitioner.
I'm a nurse
So the
practitioner.
quality of work that you're doing, it's not just anything.
No, I mean, I have to work in aesthetics to be able to do injectables in the state of California. You need to have an RN license at the bare minimum. So a key component of if anyone takes anything away today, whether you go to where you decide to check me out as a med spa and an injector, or you go somewhere else, always know what whoever's injecting you, what their credentials are. Always ask what products they are using. Make sure you're fully aware of what's FDA approved and what isn't. Make sure, because I see, especially in our world, people, I mean, cost is a huge factor. And when you're coming into, excuse me, a med spa, these are considered luxury elevated services.
Mm-hmm.
They are not, they, they're, they're pricey. It's expensive to receive treatments. Um, that being said, when you're picking an injector, do not just look at the cost of what the product of what they're offering to you, because you're gonna find if something is too cheap, it is for a reason. It's either not FDA approved, they don't have the proper credentials to be doing what they're doing, and that is scary when it is your face.
Yeah, I imagine somebody who's not a nurse taking my blood out, spinning it to convert it into PRP or PCP or whatever the word
PRF.
was, and injecting that onto my skin for the purpose of making it look plump and lush and pinky. And it could essentially be the complete opposite reaction. Your skin could be dark and dry and whatever if the appropriate person with the appropriate knowledge is not doing it properly.
Correct. They make sure your injector knows their facial anatomy. Facial anatomy is huge in what we do. Facial anatomy keeps injectors safe. Knowing where facial anatomy is going to keep the injector safe. It's going to keep the patient safe. That is a huge component. And I really feel like a key component, if anyone takes anything away today, it's know who your injector is. I know there's a whole, like, it's talked about in the aesthetic community, and like even something that I had to learn. I wasn't naturally like, let me get on social media and dance on TikTok. That was not my forte or area of expertise.
Is it even anything you saw yourself needing to have to do for your business?
At the beginning, no. And that's what I said. I didn't understand the business aspect. I was like, I'm educated. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident in what I'm doing. I am transparent and I have integrity as a provider, and I am honest, and I'm going to explain to you what is the most effective treatment in your budget, in what is your targeted goals for which you want to achieve, for how much time do we have to get you where you're trying to go, and we can create a plan that way. I guess I didn't realize how much social media plays a role in what we do at the beginning. I was like, okay, I'll post on social media, and it's like, no, number one, you need to consistently post on social media. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize like dancing on TikTok was going to be a way that people pick their injector. And when you think about it from that aspect, it's a little bit scary.
It is, but I will say I'm a huge fan of Groupon because it's important to me to not just find a good service, but to find a good person. And sometimes I don't want to commit to going to pay a lot of money for this person. I rather like meet you through Groupon and then decide if I want to keep going to you regularly, because I think it feels better that way to not use all my money to meet you firstly. It's important for me to feel safe. For example, I just went to do my eyelashes lifted, so I didn't want to do regular eyelashes. I just got them lifted. Mm-hmm. And it's something that's expensive. I didn't think it was as expensive as it would. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I looked a couple places at Google. I'm okay paying the price. I know it's something that will make me feel confident. I know it's something that's going to last. But I didn't want to pay all that money without having to know like who the person was. So if that made any sense.
It does make sense.
So to me, I was like, okay, well, it would have been like, and I looked for social media accounts. I looked to see what the person, because it may be just you dancing on the phone on Instagram, but that shows your personality. That shows that you're malleable. That shows that if I have a fun personality, you're going to receive me in that way, because the worst thing to do is be a fun, outgoing personality and you go to a provider who's just
who's monotoned.
All business. Like, yes, thank you, but I do want to smile and to feel comfortable, because I am spending a lot of money on something foreign, and I want to continue doing this. So if my first experience is not up to par, then I'm not going to go back.
I 100% hear where you're coming from. And in that aspect, in regards to the nervousness to commit to something, being that it is expensive, consults are always free.
Consults are free at the Empress LA, folks.
Consults are free. I I feel that you should be able to have a conversation about what your targeted goals are and get an idea. I feel like that's essential. Um, I I'm there to provide you the information, and what you choose to do with it is entirely up to you. But yeah, consults are free. I I also, as I continue to post things on social media and do the TikToks and the interactions so that people can see like who I am and how I interact as a person. I'm very easygoing. I have great relationships with my patients. We laugh, and it's positive. The interactions are positive. That's one thing I can honestly say as I continue to grow is my group of clients that I have serviced continue to come back because they're happy with the services and they're happy with the interactions and the energy within the space.
Has somebody ever walked into your med spa and said, I found you because of this exact like marketing strategy or this exact like reel? And if yes, what was that?
So last month when I finally posted on social media about my weight loss journey, I had people literally book because of that video.
Okay.
They were like, I had no idea looking at you in your tiny frame that you were like me. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what this is like. I've been in your shoes. I can help you through your weight loss journey. As an NP, I can manage your side effects. I can make sure this is the appropriate treatment plan for you. I can help you hit your goals. And I also am going to provide you the support along the way because I know exactly what you're dealing with.
Holistic wellness.
Yes.
Quite frankly, all around.
All the way around. So there was that. I had people found it, they loved the voiceover video I did where someone was like, you look so natural. And I popped the Jeuveau bottle, which is it's a type of Botox. Botox is a brand, but it's a type of botulinum, which is the toxin that we inject in the face. And I flicked the cap off and I go, thank you, I'm not. I had people come.
You can't tell. Which is the purpose.
Yeah. I had people come in from that. People see I do tattoo removal in my space, so I have some clients that we've been filming their process. I've posted up that, and I've gotten people come in from that. I also have, there's 2 signs that are outside of my building. It said your weight loss journey starts here. There's another one that says your tattoo removal journey starts here, and they have QR codes. People have scanned those QR codes and have booked from that and called for information on that. But a lot of my social media that has brought people in, also education. I had people come in when I talked about, because I have 2 different types of facial options. I have carbon laser facials, which target into the dermis of the skin.
What is the dermis?
So you have different layers of your skin. You have your surface level, your epidermis, your dermis. So it's targeting into the deep layer of your skin to help boost new collagen and help to improve the skin from within. So when you do a standard facial, like a hydrodermabrasion facial, you are targeting the surface level, so pores only. When you do a laser facial, you're targeting deep within. So that's going to help with anti-aging. I am also, outside of my med spa, I help out when I can, but I am a clinical trainer for my laser platform device. That being said, if they have somebody who purchases the device, I teach them how to use it. I provide education in that aspect. So I am very familiar with my platform. I know how it works. I know the ins and outs of my laser machine and how laser benefits the skin, and how carbon laser facials, for example, have amazing benefits with helping to clear out pores, reduce fine lines, tighten skin, and then I now have it where we have the charcoal mask itself, or we have it, it's called an exopeel. An exopeel has exosomes infused into that mask.
What is an exosome?
So exosomes have growth factors. It's basically, it's telling your cells to form new cells, but at a much faster rate. So it's gonna help give you targeted results in a shorter time frame, going to help really boost anti-aging. So it's an amazing offering that I have within my space, with the fact that its price point, I've kept the price point the same because I'm using the same mask. I'm just, it's a different variation. I have two depending on targeted goals, but that one will give you nice collagen formation and improvement to your skin with time for the same price as your hydrodermabrasion. So both, the thing is, they're both complement each other. So hydrodermabrasion is good for when people have clogged pores. They want just overall clearing of their skin. The carbon laser will target into the dermis to help more benefits on anti-aging. So some people, I have clients that will do both. They will come in, they will get their hydrodermabrasion facial to clear out their pores, make sure we have a nice smooth surface. Then we can go in and we can do their carbon laser facial to really push in, do the exopeel, push in the exosomes into the skin, help form new collagen, and they continue to see those benefits with time. And then I have other people who come in solely and they're like, I just want the carbon laser per month, and they've replaced their regular facial because of the benefits in which it's working underneath the skin, and they continue to see like overall evenness in skin texture and just a glow on their skin. So when they go in and they put their skincare regimen on, it really helps to push in the product that you're using. Not only that, it gives you a really nice surface for like if you're going anywhere. There's a reason the carbon laser treatment is known as like the Hollywood facial, because it gives you such a bright glow. So if you have any events, that's a great option to do because there's no downtime.
Do you laser just like if I wanted to just get my
I do hair
all
removal.
the hair removal?
Yes. So I have a multi-platform device. So I have an ND-YAG, which targets every skin type. I have the Q-switch component on it, which I can do tattoo removal. I have a diode, which is for hair removal specifically. And then I have an IPL, which there's a Fitzpatrick. So basically with your skin, there's different Fitzpatricks. IPL I mainly use for like my lighter Fitzpatricks. When you go into darker tones, it can be risky. So that being said, I'm very transparent with my patients, and I'm like, let's use the ND-YAG, or let's find a more appropriate treatment for you. I feel like everything has an appropriate place and benefit for people.
Correct.
And it's not cookie cutter. It's not one thing fits everyone. That's not how things work. Everyone has a specific plan based on skin type, goals, and just overall what is it that they're trying to accomplish, and what areas can be improved. I also have a radio frequency platform in my space, and that has different hand pieces. I have vaginal rejuvenation. Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
So
if I'm pregnant, I have a baby, my vagina can be rejuvenated?
Correct. So this is not talked about enough. But what is
10 minutes.
Oh wow, we've been talking for an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so vaginal rejuvenation. After women have children, naturally, like with the pressure of giving birth and the pressure on the bladder, you're more prone to stress incontinence. That's when like you laugh or you sneeze and you pee a little bit.
I've heard that before.
It is very true. Nobody talks about it enough, including myself. There's a reason I like Pilates and I don't do CrossFit.
Pilates tightens you, and CrossFit.
I tried to do jumping jacks, and I found out 60 jumping jacks in that I had stress incontinence, and I peed myself in CrossFit and never went back.
Sorry for laughing at you, but that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Aside from being a great experience for people, if that's something you're struggling with, Erica at the Empress LA can definitely take care of you,
Yes.
not just by trade, but from experience.
Yes. So how the vaginal rejuvenation platform works, it's a radio frequency platform that it's a wand that is inserted into the vaginal canal, and it helps to tighten tissues. It helps with lubrication. So it's great too for your premenopause, menopausal women, anybody who struggles with vaginal dryness, anybody who like for example, low estrogen is a huge factor of vaginal dryness, and this helps to ensure lubrication forms within the vaginal tissues, helps with stress incontinence to keep you from having incidents like I did in CrossFit, and overall works really well to tighten tissues and help prevent you from having issues with incontinence. So that's an option.
Do you feel your services are more for women?
I'm getting a mix now. Before initially, when I opened initially, I was primarily women. Brotox is a very big thing.
Brotox?
Yes.
Why do I love that?
Men can come in
Brotox.
and get Botox. It is fine. It is socially acceptable. It is referred to as Brotox. I am not, and then men need to understand too, I am not trying to freeze your muscles. It is important as a man that we can see your muscle movement. That's what gives you your masculine structure.
Mm-hmm.
But I can reduce a little bit of that where your lines and it's not as strong. So you'll still get the movement, but you're going to look younger. So as aesthetics continues to grow, yes, Botox is a thing. I have men coming in for Botox, and it's great. I feel like anti-aging is for everyone. Not only that, we have the wellness with the vitamins and the peptides. That is for everyone, for men and women, especially as the wellness journey continues and everyone is focusing on improved versions of themselves. The peptides and wellness is for everyone. So before, when I opened initially, it was primarily women. No, we see everyone at the Empress LA. So.
Which is great that you say that, because we're essentially all human beings.
Yes.
With a vessel, which happens to be mostly skin. That is our largest organ.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, we do live in a society where what you look like will determine if perhaps you get a job, or will determine if perhaps you get married and have a family, or it could determine if people even open a door for you. There's so much importance placed on what you look like, on skin, but at the same time it's expensive. Mm-hmm. And I think we're in a space where that gap is being bridged a little. Mm-hmm. People are saving their hard-earned money to be able to afford these services.
Yep.
What would you tell your audience or the world? What's the best way in which they can support you, knowing that you stand for integrity, knowing you stand for providing a holistic experience, not just taking their money?
I mean, you can support me by sharing my information, passing it on to somebody else. You can support me by following my social media, by word of mouth is huge. You know somebody who wants services, send them my information. I'm happy to help. You want services yourself? Come in for a consult. Let's talk. I also, in my space, I offer cherry financing for people who want to split payments or pay over time. That is an
nice.
option.
Okay.
And I mean, I take everything else in the space too. So there are options, and also we can make a plan to help you hit your targeted goals. I do at times. I offer specials. For example, like currently for February, I have a Javoux special on Tox, and on my facials, I have a special for Valentine's Day. So there's
that's right.
Yeah, there's things that pop up. So we can create a targeted goal and plan for you, and everyone's different on what they're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. So you're curious, come in and let's do a consult. I mean, knowledge is power, so the more information you have, the better it is for you.
Walking into your med spa, being my first time ever consulting, would there be a name for you, like how there is for an esthetician? Is there a name for like the med spa ladies? So
for me,
yes,
I'm Erica. Everybody can call me. I'm very easygoing. You don't have to like. We don't have to. I'm very personable. So I'm Erica to literally all of my patients. Yes, I'm a nurse practitioner, but I I feel like there's a huge, with what I do, it's a good people component where you're able to, I'm your provider, I'm helping provide care, but I'm also, this is, we need to have a good patient provider relationship, and that comes with like rapport and communication. So yeah, I hope anybody who walks in my space can feel the positive energy that's within the space and feels comfortable within it. Because two, if you don't feel comfortable, you should not have that person inject on your face. You need to
Yes.
feel comfortable with your injector. So
So walking into the med spa, getting my treatment by Erica, whatever treatment that is, it could be microneedling, it could be laser,
Mhm.
it could be GLP weight loss. You
Mhm.
offer multiple services.
Mhm.
Um, I can expect to first have a consultation because with you, I'm not just going to walk in and walk out with my results. The bigger the change you want, the longer, the more expensive that could be.
Correct.
And I can expect Erica to not just inject or to provide the services, but walk me through them because you're an NP
Correct.
and you thoroughly understand.
I'm going to give you all the education I can about whatever treatment it is that we're doing. And sometimes I tell my clients, if I'm telling you too much information, let me know, because I can go on research tangent all day long and I enjoy it. So I can sit here and talk about products and things indefinitely. So be prepared. If you come to see me, yes, you're going to get educated on the product. You're going to know exactly what you're doing. You're going to know exactly what I'm using on you. You're going to have a plan in place. You will have follow-up. Whenever I do an injectable treatment, you're going to have a follow-up in 2 weeks because I want to make sure you're happy with your results.
Got it.
And we go from there on targeted goals. But I will guide you through this process, and it's going to be a happy, comfortable journey along the way. So
Personally, I have a tattoo that I got a few years ago. I thought it was cute. Don't think it's cute anymore, and I actually do want to remove it. What would that process look like?
So tattoo removal, you would come in, we would look at your tattoo, we would look at sizing. So I charge versus small, medium, and large. I can also package it. If I package it for you, depending on how many sessions you need, I can take 20% off of it. Some people, they come in and they do, so when I'm doing laser tattoo removal, I book the appointments out every 6 weeks. You need to have adequate time to heal. So when you come in for tattoo removal, you come in, I put numbing cream on you, because tattoo removal is spicy. It's quick depending on sizing and things, but it can be painful. That being said, I go ahead and we laser. You're gonna see little frosting on your skin. That means we've hit targeted, we've ablated the skin, and it's where it needs to be for the tattoo. You can expect to see over the next couple days. There could be some drainage, some blistering. That is all normal. I ablated your skin. You want to keep that area clean, dry, and hydrated. And then it's going to start to heal. It will scab, and the next time you come in 6 weeks later, it's going to be a little bit lighter. And then we just continue that process again until it is gone.
This sounds scary and painful.
It's not scary. It's majority of the people, they want their tattoo off. So I explain the process. I explain that I'm going to numb you. I'm quick with it, and I can, at least on the bright side, that I am very good with my lines and where I'm lasering. So this is going to be quick for you. So, and I'm going to give you a stress ball, and I'm going to keep you as comfortable as possible as we do this.
Yeah. So. Wow. Erica, I truly wish that I had a lot more time to continue speaking with you, but our time has arrived. I would like to say it has been my honor to speak to you. I feel not only that I can trust you with something that is rather a huge undergoing, like a laser treatment, painful, a lot of money. It's important to know who will be injecting you or who will be lasering you. But not only that, I feel most comfortable because I can clearly see you have tons of knowledge which means you have a lot of passion, which means that what you do is truly done with care.
Yes.
And I think when you go into a med spa and you do treatments that are not just surface but they're deeper than that, it's important to have those qualities within someone. So thank you so much for showing that to us, to the audience, for portraying that. I truly hope that we see a lot more people coming into your Empress LA to get these services, because they'll be winning not just somebody who does a good job, but someone who really cares about doing a good job. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the conversation, and let's get you thriving.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and it was a lovely conversation. You have great energy.
Thank you so much.